for them. Cool. They can hear us now. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You know what time that is, Pops? You know how much time I got?
Time to piss.
Amen. I shall return.
Can everybody hear us okay? Gary Morris, Larry Adams, Marty Upton. This cigar is cut here. Is this one cut?
Yep,
Later?
I borrowed your cutter.
Nice. I love this cutter.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It cuts most cutters when you cut it pushes through and then you end up knocking off part of your wrapper over here.
Mm-hmm.
But this like squeezes in from the sides.
Oh, yeah.
So it cuts the sides, and as you're cutting, it lifts up. So you end up kind of creating a little dome, but it's pulling away from the wrapper, so it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't
break.
pull the wrapper, yeah. Which one is that?
Belly blue.
Ooh, Kevin's in.
Oh, you're a young man. That was quick.
I have a child splatter.
Okay.
We actually have a little bit of a national show going on here.
Yeah, Kevin is coming
Jackson,
in from
Georgia. Gary Morris coming in from Aransas.
Kevin is one of those guys that wishes he lived in Frisco.
Yeah.
We send him some good cigars, and he has a wonderful time with them.
If you'd like to, you can say sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Okay, good.
It sounds like more of an announcement. I think you gotta be a little bit more.
Just
Sweaty
balls. Let me see how much time we have here. 15 still. You ready?
Ready.
I can't wait for
Have you
buyers
seen
to
this
show
show?
up.
I have.
Okay.
Or
you
best.
have an idea what's coming up?
Sure.
Okay.
2.
Have you prepped your answers?
And if not, we'll just raw dog it as we go.
What a transition. What's up, boys?
Boom, boom, boom.
I'm used to having a fourth.
Boom.
Byers,
We're gonna have a fourth here tonight.
Brandon Byers is going to be sitting in that seat. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is our, what day is today?
Tuesday.
Cigar Talk Live.
Cigar Talk Live.
/ Judgment Zone. This is our Tuesday get together where we get to virtually have a cigar with all you beautiful people, and we are generally joined by other beautiful people. And tonight is no exception. Tonight, over my left shoulder, we have Jim Stanko. Beautiful soul. Welcome in, brother.
He is.
Thank you for having me in for my first cigar. What an honor.
Yes, it's amazing.
Of the day or the hour?
Yes, and we also have Courtney, who's sitting in the peanut gallery, I believe. So if you hear anything come in that sounds intelligent, smart, interesting, it's not coming from us. It is coming from Courtney.
Exactly.
So if you are watching this, go ahead, give us a like, a share, a comment, ask questions, because this is an interactive show.
It is. And it has 0.0 script.
Yes, but this is
here's
scripted.
Cheers.
Now
That is
we
part
can
of the
begin.
script.
Cheers to all of you.
The finest water of Frisco.
Last week, I was really nervous about the quality of the show because Dave Graybeard and Jonathan Carney
From LSD. Yeah.
from LFT started talking cigars,
Yeah.
education, blends, tobaccos,
Yeah.
valuable content. Made me really nervous.
Yeah.
Should we dip in?
Here, it was very obvious as Carney hit his polished off the second bottle of wine. Education was out the window.
By the second hour, it was. But I'm thinking maybe it's smart because we are in a cigar lounge to open it up with what you smoking.
Yeah.
Jim Stanko, what the hell you smoking?
You know what? I already forgot. This is what happens when I pull the label off too soon. Courtney, what do I have? She doesn't remember.
I know what that is. That's a gold band. That's a limited KBF gold.
Okay. If you say so.
I don't know.
What the hell did I pick up? Why can I not remember what I grabbed?
Isn't it?
No.
Smoke the Von Care.
Yeah. Put that thing on.
All right. Good enough.
We are
A lot of
Walker
important
Corey.
questions coming in.
We are drinking Digits bourbon. This is from our friend Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen.
Drop this thing
Gnarly
over.
looking fingers on there. It looks like he's banged his fingers up in the midst of all of those slam dunks in his career.
I will say this:
Or watching Gordon slam dunk.
it's a low proof bourbon. It to me tastes a lot like apple juice. It's really sweet. It's really smooth. What do you think about it?
It's absolutely fantastic. It doesn't have that big burn on the front end. It's got a nice smell to it. Goes down easy.
Well, good. We have a whole bottle of it, so
Yeah, we won't.
this show will get a lot better.
Without a doubt, Mark Meyer. What's up? What's happening, everybody? Walker Corey. That is the first time I think I've seen that name.
Gary Morris is sitting on the beach smoking an Epicure Maduro and killing a bottle.
Oh, man. Is that Walker? Oh, that's up front. Oh, man. What's happening? I wonder if it's the trio sitting out there. Okay, now you're smoking a Von Care. So now let's start this back over.
Zulu was the other one.
Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
There you go.
Can I steal your lighter as you talk about the cigar you're smoking?
Absolutely.
Fire away.
So now we're smoking the Van Kier by Principle, which is absolutely wonderful. And I got to tell you, I was on a cruise a couple weeks ago, and I started talking about the greatness of Principle to some of the people on the boat. And I forget that unless you're in only, 4 or 5 markets in the U.S., you can't get this.
Yeah.
So I had
A lot of dumb stares looking at you.
I had the 2 that I had brought with me, and they were like, "Can we try it?" No, fuck no, you can't try it. These 2 are mine. So that was it.
But everyone who's watching can buy it no matter where they are in the country because they can go to industrialcigars.co. They can pick it up themselves. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ladies, gentlemen, and undecided, we have a special guest tonight, 2 special guests tonight, one of which has been introduced, Jim Stanko, which I will call James from here on out. Mm-hmm. And now, Brandon Byers.
The
Brandon Byers. Okay, so Byers, you might have to take your leg off for that, but you want that to be about a fist from your face. So however you can pull that table up to your old Johnson there.
We'll give you a fist in the face.
Megan Byers.
Megan Byers shows up just in the nick
I
of time.
apologize.
Out of control.
Yep.
Josh Sims, yes, we will be at PCA Frakes Boys 4 Strong at the PCA show in a couple of weeks.
Is one not showing up?
I'm gonna sneak into the luggage.
I'm looking forward to it. You know what? You do need to come to a trade show with us. Maybe
TPE.
TPE.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Go to Vegas in January, not July, because that's when dumb people go to Vegas.
It is.
All right, so what's the go-to spot when you're in Vegas for these things? Where you go? You going to 8? You going to Casa Fuente? Where are you headed to?
We always go to the Parasol Bar in the Wynn.
At the Wynn.
That's the place we go.
You guys
sit there and watch
you
the
go
entertainment.
top notch.
Yeah, the beauty is you can sit in the Wynn and act top notch, but they just don't kick you out as long as you.
I actually know Mrs. Wynn, or I guess was Mrs. Wynn.
Well, pull that up to your, or you can put it up on the
Right.
table there.
Right
Just
there.
make sure it's not blocking right there.
I'm pretty sure my picture is still on the wall of the security desk in the Wynn. So I don't know that I would be welcome there, but I would try until they threw me out.
Hang on. What's the story here?
All right.
This is
so
better than a ghost story.
back in my younger days, when I was about 28 or 30, we went out there for a bachelor party, and one of the guys from Atlanta, we were at two different tables because we had 14 guys, and one of the guys from Atlanta got a little too drunk on like 32 whiskeys, got up on table number 1 and screamed over at me, at table 2, "Stanko, where are the sea-sucking whores at?" At full volume. Well, little did I know this was as good as a coupon in Vegas, because all of a sudden the maitre d' of the restaurant was offering to cut the bill if we just leave. As I see a new strategy. As I saw two very
Sea-sucking
large-
whores. That's
Yes.
the one. Okay.
As I saw 2 very large security gentlemen helping him off the table. So that was a long time ago. I'd have less hair and more beard now, but we'll see.
We had 2 totally different experiences. Totally different.
With the sea-sucking whores, or
Yeah, well,
your
yeah,
wife is
yeah,
watching,
yeah,
by the way, and I do
yeah,
apologize
yeah.
for everyone who's watching with children in the room.
Yeah.
No.
First of all,
So
we need to talk about the parenting that's happening around America. if children are watching this show.
Oh, I was about to say
it doesn't matter what they're watching anymore. I mean, it could be
true.
Disney, it could be here.
this could be. This is better than Lightyear.
Perfectly honest with you.
Okay, let's go ahead. Push forward, shall you?
So no, I was freshly injured, American hero, and my mother, being the awesome person that she is, went out and did something without telling me or Megan, my wife, and went and contacted every major hotel in Las Vegas because that's where we were stationed. I mean, and laid it on thick. My son is an American hero. He just got back from Iraq. He got blown up. And just went thick on it, right? And she didn't get any response, but Mrs. Wynn's secretary contacted my mom, gave us a complimentary night at one of the VIP suites, a show, and dinner at like one of the really, really nice restaurants. And so I was like, once she told me, I was like, you did what now? And then she told me, she goes, yeah, Mrs. Wynn, she reached out to me and then, gave me all these awesome compliments and everything like that. So it was a really, really cool experience, and of which we got to meet Anthony Hopkins. Or Megan actually got to see him. I held the door for him because I didn't know it was him. I was just trying to be nice. And this guy was like, I held the door, older couple, and they were running out. And thank you. Yeah, absolutely, no problem. Megan's like wide-eyed, mouth dropped. And I'm like, what? She goes, do you know who that was? No. There's Anthony Hopkins. I'm like, BS. I'm like, no, that's not. And then we found out a couple weeks later, he was on the Ellen show. He's like, yeah, I was just in Vegas. I'm like, I'll be damned. It was Anthony Hopkins.
Clarice.
But fast forward a couple of months, and I did this. The one thing about being a wounded vet on a military installation, you get used as a dog and pony show a lot. So I went out for, it was in the NBA All-American team. They were about to go over to China. And they had a bunch of them over there in this like basement area of the Wynn.
What, Chinese people or basketball players?
Basketball players.
Okay.
And so like LeBron was there.
Chinese
Kobe was
people
there.
can be basketball players, Brady.
And so I got invited and whatnot. I was just shaking hands and everything like that. Mrs. Wynn was there. She happened to be walking out as I was walking in. I was like, Mrs. Wynn, I'm really sorry. I know that you don't know me, but my mother contacted you. You gave me and my wife a suite and everything. She goes, oh, I love your mom. We're best friends. She's just the greatest thing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. All
You
right.
lied to me, but I got to freeze something out of it. Oh, by the way, buyers, cheers, mate.
You do this on purpose.
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh.
I've been planning this for years.
I've learned not to do the whole thing with you.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So story being is we were celebrating one night. We do an event, and we were really happy with ourselves. It was Friendsgiving. That's what it was, Friendsgiving. And we poured, I don't even know what we poured. And you're like, yeah, and we just downed the thing. And I really don't drink hardly at all.
But he's a good drunk.
And no, I'm a feely drunk.
Tipsy Brandon is coming up soon, says your wife.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
she's
the feely drunk. I'm the big smiles and just, hey,
Yeah, I love you, man, guy.
Oh, God.
So that's why he's on tonight. Okay, so you're talking Vegas stories. You've got a story of you definitely on the Wynn. You've got a different experience where Miss Wynn definitely lied to your face.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
No
She's
problem.
being super sweet.
No problem. All right, Pops, what's your Vegas story?
Oh my God. I spent so much time in Vegas. Actually, years ago, Uncle Berg was his name. He wasn't our uncle, but he was very closely related,
What do you like to drink with Duke?
No, it was Midge's husband. So
Okay.
his mom's, it's his aunt, uncle, blah, blah, blah.
This
Anyway,
doesn't make sense to
long story
anybody.
short, he owned a big part of the Union Plaza Hotel. And so I'll never forget, I was 13 years old. This isn't a stupid, let's see if we can get arrested type of thing. This was just, it was during you're old enough, maybe old enough to remember the energy shortage. And there was this huge power shortage. And at 9 o'clock, they didn't turn the lights on in Vegas until 9 o'clock. And we were sitting in whatever the restaurant was that rotated over by the Hilton. The whole town just looks like Frisco at 9 o'clock. It's just dark. And then all of a sudden, somebody hits the power switch at 9 o'clock, and all of Las Vegas lit up.
Wow.
I mean, it was
That'd have been cool.
unbelievable. It was like a fireworks show.
That would have been cool.
to just see everything
Wow.
turn on. But that was I was 13, so it was 100 years ago. But yeah, there was this power shortage, and they had to.
You could picture how it would sound too. You know, like the golden nugget getting going.
You know, back then, it was you'd have a definite hum.
Oh, yeah.
There definitely would have been a hum. That'd
The
been
real
cool, though.
neon back then.
That
There was no
would've
LEDs.
been really cool.
I think I think one of the funnest times I had in Las Vegas was taking your brothers out for their 21st birthday.
So let me go ahead and talk to you
I've
about
heard
my
stories
Vegas
about
and
that.
my Vegas story here. Actually, I don't even know where to start because that weekend that was a Friday to Sunday, and Friday to Sunday had 45 minutes of sleep
Yep.
and no drugs. So that's just human body of alcohol. I guess Red Bull by the gallon, cigars.
A lot of cigars.
A lot of cigars. What we did learn in that trip, though, is if you're young and you go to a strip club, you don't look like you have money.
No.
And then what we learned from Jackson, Andrew's friend, is you don't keep wads of cash anywhere because the strippers know where they're at.
Yep.
And they know you got cash on them.
And the strippers out there are pros.
Oh, no. He didn't stop moving. When I mean he didn't stop moving, I mean he didn't make it to the bar yet before he spent $46 on her drink. He didn't even put his arm on the bar yet. She was walking in, touching him, feeling him. Oh, you want to get me a drink? Okay, hit it. The drink was ready. Okay, that's $46. And he landed to the bar and he went, what the fuck just happened? No idea. That was an interesting. That was
at the
Spearmint
Aria.
Rhino.
We had a 6-bedroom suite for you guys, and you guys all brought friends with you, and they hooked us up with a humidor full of Cubans, and I mean we could smoke on a non-smoking floor.
It was,
and these guys they went at it. I had
remember that prostitute that looked like Rihanna?
Yes.
That you brought her over into the
Well, I
deal
thought
there?
it was Rihanna.
I thought it was too.
But it's amazing when you get the right people to line up the right things. We're at this nightclub. We're walking past this mountain of people to go into the place. We get right up into the VIP suite or VIP area, and there's this enormous guy that's standing there with the earpiece in, just standing there, and you would say, okay, Jed, whatever the hell his name was, I got to go to the bathroom. And the next thing you know, he became a human snowplow and would just shove people out of the way, open up the stall in the bathroom, make sure nobody's in there, and then stand there, wait till you're done. And then he would come back and he's just like mowing the thing over.
Andrew was so drunk he took a piss sitting down.
You want me to shake that for you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then Andrew's friend's like trying to be cool, right? He's this sawed off little dude, and he goes up. He's like, "Hey, I got to take a piss," and he goes, "Yeah, that's right over there." Yeah, that's
Sorry,
good.
bro, it doesn't work like that.
Sorry, bro, it doesn't work. But it was weird. That whole situation. He's like, "Which girls do you want?" We're like, "I don't know, that group." Sure as shit, it just works like that in Vegas. I guess you could
They just brought 'em up.
You just brought them
They
up.
drank our $1,000 bottle of vodka, and then they
That's how it works, actually.
And then there was
That's
another wedding group that was there. They came up, and that got even more interesting. We're sitting there smoking cigars, looking over at the railing, and everybody all jacked up on meth or whatever the hell they were on.
It
Right,
was.
but Vegas, though, they are getting the greatest show on earth next year, Formula One.
Amen, brother.
And it's going to be the weekend right after Thanksgiving. So, I love the family and all, but it's Formula One in Vegas.
Amen.
We have to go to this, right? We have to figure this out. We have
See,
to have an industrial party at the Formula One.
Here's the problem. The problem is the last two times that we went was paddock and then garage.
Yeah. Where do we go?
Where do you go? What, I'm going to sit on the fucking strip with a bunch of hobos sitting there and just
Yeah.
go, wow, that was cool. That was fast. Wow, that was $6,000 to have some homeless guy breakdance in front of me as I watch a car go
seats that
fast.
they had in the Hangover on top of Caesar's Palace might be a pretty good place.
Yeah.
As long as we have one of those guys with us.
Rightfully so. Your wife now says, I'm not quite sure how I feel about you going to Vegas with us in January.
Well, okay,
We've grown
the
up
reason
since
being
then.
is my birthday, right? She's still pregnant with Preston, okay? And she loves to tell this story because they took me out, a bunch of the guys, they had just gotten back from Iraq. They grabbed me up and they take me away. at I think 6 in the morning. They come bringing me back. My phone had died. This was flip phone era, you know, and she had one of those pink Razor flip phones.
Oh, nice.
My phone was dead, so she gave me that.
Oh,
back.
yeah,
and I had this leather jacket on, so I stuck it in an inner pocket, and that's where it stayed the entire night. I never took it out. Couldn't feel it buzz, nothing. So she has called like I don't know how many times, and we come rolling up on base at 6 in the morning. They come carrying me in all the way in the house. Drop me in my little 500 square foot cinder block, you know, lead asbestos home that we had, and drop me in the bathroom. And then they just booked. They left, and I'm like, that was just kind of drop me on the floor, guys. Thanks a lot. And then I saw why, because Megan was coming towards the bathroom, and I was just laying there. She's like, she took a rag, threw it in my face, clean yourself up. Okay. So I wiped myself off, went to the room.
Are we still telling a drinking story at this point? I'm confused.
I think we're talking Exhibit A in his divorce case.
Yeah.
This was. Do you have any idea what time it is? I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no clue. And then I was out, gone. It was the last thing I remembered. Next morning, I start to remember things. I'm like, oh damn. She's not there. Come in the living room. There she is. Hey baby. Okay.
Megan, is that the truth as you remember it? Because I want to know that for sure.
The thing is, we used to have the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas, so I'd have to be there for 10 days. My patience in Vegas is about 3 days. Mm-hmm. I want to get out of there. So 10 days in Vegas, walking trade shows and all that stuff. Vegas really kind of, the luster wore off of that a long time ago. One of my favorite, it's golf related stories. But back in the day when the Sands used to have a golf course behind it, out back they had a restaurant, and they had a green with a lake in front of it, and everybody would sit out and they would eat lunch. So I brought my customers, and we would go eat lunch. We'd sit outside, and everybody's having a good time. We're watching everybody come in and hit balls into the final hole. Well, I watched this guy tin cup this thing. He's about 80 yards out. He dunks 4, 5, 6 balls into the water, gets up closer to the edge, thinks now that he's closer, he clunk, keeps going back to his bag, getting more balls. He drops probably a dozen balls in the lake, unhitches his bag, and throws the whole staff bag into the lake. And then he gets in his cart and he drives away. So we're all just going, Jesus, did that just happen? What the hell is going on? I couldn't believe it. 5 minutes later, the guy comes back around in the cart, goes in, walks in the water, feels around, pulls his bag up, unzips it, pulls his car keys out, and throws the clubs back in the water and leaves.
That's baller money. That is big money.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that was, and just the utter shock, because, I mean, everybody's like, he's not going to hit another one. There's no way he's going to hit another one.
Well, here's where
and then
going.
sure as enough,
That's solid.
Chuck that thing in the lake.
Megan Byers is confirming that you are indeed telling the truth 100%. You were about 23.
Yep.
She was 7 months pregnant on bed rest. Mm-hmm. You stayed out until the sun came up, had a hangover from hell, and I was making as much noise in the house as possible. Yeah, that's yes all the way through.
I remember that night that we were talking about the club. I remember Andrew the whole building started to tilt sideways, so he was having a hard time staying sideways. So he's like, I'm not really feeling that good. Maybe we'll go outside. So he goes outside and finds the only patch of grass in the little turnaround area, all glass, thousands of people trying to get into this nightclub, and he just turns and just starts projectile vomiting on this little patch of grass. And then while he's throwing up, he turns around and looks at me and goes, am I throwing up? And he just starts throwing up again. He did. He was so drunk he didn't know that he was throwing up.
All right, let's take a pivot here away from Vegas before we get your invitation revoked to join us in January. Here's one question I asked last week that I'm glad no one was on for, so you guys, it will all be fresh. I asked this question, and I think it's a valid question, and it spawned off some pretty cool conversation, right? And this is a judgment zone,
okay?
Right? So
I like that.
You guys go ahead and start judging.
Yep.
Based on their answers, you can see character basing stuff.
Yeah.
If you were to listen to one band or musician forever, no one else, who is it?
Oh my God.
Now, let's go ahead and lighten it up as you
Dead or
think of your
alive?
own. No, let's think of it. Okay, as you guys think of it, let's go ahead and everyone just look at Byers, okay? What do you think his musician would be?
AC/DC.
Okay, you're going AC/DC.
I don't know, Maroon 5.
Oh, you know how I know you're gay?
That hurts a
You
little
listen
bit.
to Maroon 5.
Oh, that hurts.
That stings.
I don't know. It would be something kind of like Fats McGee or something, something that's like super classic, timeless. Maybe like a BB King. Maybe I would go BB King for you. Is what my guess
I could
would
go
be.
with that. I got Fats Domino, BB King.
Fats Domino. I'm sorry.
I could definitely go with that. Fats Domino. I don't really have just one genre. I love all sorts of stuff. I mean, it just goes with what, you feel the music and then you just go with it. Like, it doesn't... Eagles,
He
Fats
was just
Domino.
born in the wrong era.
Old
He
soul.
needs to. He's an old soul. I think he would have joined up or been drafted to go to Vietnam because the music of the Vietnam era, he would be.
He is
all
CCR all
over
day.
that.
That
what
is-
it? The song "Fortunate Son."
Yeah, that's not Clearwater Revival, right?
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah,
Is that Fortunate Son?
I think so.
Help us, please.
That's
Somebody
the
help
one
us.
that you hear on the
Somebody Google
helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put that
My
song on
all-time
because I've got a
favorites.
bunch of like dragonflies that fly in the morning. So I'll put that on and just.
Josh said at least he didn't say Nickelback.
Yep. Let's pivot as they help us with this. If that's CCR,
Stengel really hasn't talked enough to.
I need to get him activated.
Let's just
Chime in.
You're clearly, from an IQ perspective, your IQ equals our three combined.
Oh my God.
Every time I see his comments on social media, and they're so well thought out. He's got such incredible depth of knowledge. Clearly, you're the smartest guy in the
It is
room.
CCR, by the way. Thank you.
So we'll put that into your blender, along with the fact that he smokes good cigars.
Who do you think is his?
appreciates whiskey.
Who's his?
If you've got it, go. Because I've got it.
I think he'd be like a Dave Matthews Band guy.
Listen.
That's about even.
I broke up with a girl in college because she wanted me to go to a damn Dave Matthews Band concert.
That was the first concert I ever saw.
Oh my God.
Can I tell you how dumb I am? I want to make this obvious. So you see all these guys that have stickers on their card that says 13.1, and then there's the round sticker that says 26.2, and then there's the DMB. I thought it just stood for dumb. I just thought that it was just dumb. Once I figured out that it was Dave Matthews Band, then I went, okay,
my
get
Dave
out.
Matthews isn't that bad.
I would put the 0.0 sticker before the Dave Matthews.
All right. No, what do you think? Because I thought that was going to be a hit.
Oh,
no,
my God.
No offense to your relationship, or anything, but
God, let's see. And he's an F1 fan. Basically a perfect dude. His hair is beautiful.
Yep, he's super aerodynamic.
Golly.
The wheels are spinning over there.
Just off the contact we had, just easygoing, classy guy. I can see some easygoing like Willie Nelson. Let's see what else.
I can see him. I can see him in the front row at a Garth
The
Brooks
Eagles?
concert.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Garth
maybe.
Brooks he'd have a hat on and brand new shiny pair of boots because he's never worn boots before.
Yes, they would be. They would be shiny because they would be
Like the
brand
old
new.
price tag on the heel.
That's right.
All right. So then, who is your spirit band?
All right. So I would probably say Frank Sinatra if I had to listen
Rat
to
Pack
one
Man.
guy forever.
Classic.
There we go.
Yeah, right.
There we go.
So
My
I
kind
got
of
To your point, he's perfect.
From a
My kinda
judgment
guy.
perspective.
So
yeah.
I got to tell you,
Damn it, that's
when I
good.
was a kid, I grew up with my grandparents and my mom, and my grandmother listened to the radio all day, and it was either big band oldies, what we would call big band or oldies, or it was the Muzak channel playing contemporary hits on the piano. And I listened to so much Frank Sinatra as a kid. That's got to be the choice.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic, if nothing else.
I didn't think I could respect this guy anymore.
That's
That's got to be yours too. Rat Pack has to be yours. Like Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin.
I sing that every chance I get.
I hear
Fly Me to
you.
the Moon is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah. What do you mean you're in the mood? Megan's watching.
I said, fly me,
Fly
to
me
the
to the
moon.
moon.
Oh, okay.
All right, what's yours,
I'm not
Brandon?
even drunk.
Mine's a little bit different.
Well,
Mine-
okay, let's judge Brandon.
let's judge you, shall we?
Wow, that was a quick turn.
Well,
That was a.
All right,
that was a
what do you think? I think I've got his.
You know what?
It's dumb.
Based off of what I know, like what I see versus what I know is two different things.
Yeah,
You know, from
that's
just
that's how I get through life.
and that's the thing. Like if
He looks smart.
If I didn't know anything about him, just looking at Dave, I'd say AC/DC, something with some really like classic rock to it. You know, some like real soul to it. But knowing that he goes with some really awesome R&B.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going the R&B front. Where are you going?
Yeah, I was going to say like 90s house music. That's what I seem to always tie back to Pops over here.
That's pretty good. I would have gone Fleetwood Mac for him. I think if there was one you could only listen to forever, because when we're hanging at your house, you've always got like minor key, like depressing shit on all the time. You got like the Rumors album always spinning for some reason.
Yeah.
I think Fleetwood Mac would be yours.
I love Fleetwood Mac, but I think under the same circumstances that you had, we didn't have a TV, we had a record player, and I either listened to my mom's Elvis records, but I became indoctrinated into the Beatles.
The Beatles.
And the Beatles are, for me, one of the most versatile bands. You know, Fleetwood Mac, they have some stuff that's up tempo and some more mellow stuff. But the Beatles, if you listen to their library, they are all over.
Incredible.
So
Yep.
I think I could listen
It's a
to
good
that
call.
because I wouldn't get tired of it.
How many times have we seen the Beatles live show in Vegas?
I've seen it 11 times.
Eleanor Ripley, one of my
Yeah.
favorite.
Eleanor
songs.
Rigby. That's it.
You know, they ignore
Eleanor Rigby.
boy band Beatles in that show, though. And that's what got them started. It's all Sgt. Pepper
they,
stuff.
But no, they have I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Do okay.
Yeah,
it's been a few years since I've seen it.
No,
so.
they start with I think
Back in the USSR.
back in the USSR,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
but they move into when they're on Ed Sullivan. Here they are, the Beatles, da-na-na, and they move into
Yeah.
I Want to Hold Your Hand. That the Beatles. I mean,
But like
the most
Blackbird
nostalgic.
and My Guitar Gently Weeps, and some of that's just great.
Golden
but then some of their other
Slumbers.
stuff just-
Yeah.
Just
Okay, so for those
Yeah.
of you who are watching and sticking with us, what is your favorite Beatles song as we move to Okay, did you say what your band would be?
You know what? Thinking about what you guys were saying, my mom, when she was taking me to school, she always listened to classic 80s rock. I mean, listening to Queen, that's one of my all-time favorite. Yeah, I mean, it just
Queen.
it just hits hits the
Styx.
soul.
Styx was awesome. I love Styx.
Still couldn't listen to Queen for the rest of my life, though.
I
think you
I
could.
I could.
I think you could.
100%.
Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah.
Good. That's
All
good.
right. All right,
I
judge
like
me,
that
bitches.
question.
Judge
What was
me.
the other one that you said? What's your favorite Beatles song?
I'm asking them out there.
Oh, yeah, what's your favorite?
Whoever's watching what their favorite Beatles song is. If you guys have your favorite Beatles song, I want to know it.
Yeah, I'll say Life Goes On. Obla di, obla da.
Yeah.
Obla
And the
di.
reason he wrote that song, McCarthy wrote that song just to shit on John Lennon. And then he made him sing the song. That's the best part, right? That was a musical he was involved in. So I thought, how great is that? Just
Wow.
throwing some heat at the guy in the band while you're performing with him.
Well, he was a bit of a cocksucker when they were towards the end of the band. I mean, Yoko
Well-
came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
If you guys have seen that on Disney Plus, if you haven't, watch Get Back. It's if you're a Beatles fan. If you're not going to get any of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what's your favorite?
I think I like Something.
That's
a good one.
That's what Leo was born to.
Yeah.
Leo
Yeah.
was born with something on the speakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's yours?
Honestly, Eleanor Rigby. I mean,
It's great.
we played that, like we did a Beatles marching show when I was in high school. And it was so much damn fun. And that song we played over and over so many times, and I never got tired of it. Never got tired of playing that damn song. It was so much fun.
Oh, Josh coming in with Dear Prudence. That is a
That's deep on the. That's
that gave me a little goosebumps right there. That's sad, Dear Prudence. That is just the way they put that together.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your instrument in high school?
Trombone.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I played trombone, and I got really heavy into to jazz band. I actually did jazz in junior college and went all state with it. And I was pretty good at trombone.
See, this is my soul brother over here, and I didn't know it. I was a tenor saxophone player, and I like jazz band and marching band.
Next First Friday.
I hated reading music. I mean, obviously I could do it, but improv was my all-time favorite. Give me a key, something like that, and just go with it. God, I love doing that.
Well, now I'm going to apologize for my Maroon 5 comment. If I would have known all this.
Yeah. This is okay. So Josh Sims is coming in. He's going with Guns N' Roses or Cross Canadian Ragweed. That last one's got to be a throwaway.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
I hadn't heard that name in a
Guns
long
N'
time.
Roses, though. I mean, okay. All right. For it. All right. ICC Jazz Band. God, could you imagine that?
That could be pretty damn cool.
That could be an event
cool.
there. All right.
I'll tell you, that's one thing that the Frakes family is not blessed with is the ability to play an instrument.
I can play guitar.
Like I said, we can't really play instruments.
I can play a song on the guitar.
Okay.
Touched one before.
Yeah,
Well,
you got a great song called No Lane.
That's a good song.
It is a good song.
That's a good song. You know it is.
You know what? Every band needs an executive producer, and you guys can sell the crap out of anything.
That's
So
it.
There you
All
go.
right.
That's it.
your
Two-man
spot.
band. Speaking of, my
We're
band
going
forever.
solo with this baby.
That's
all the way
right.
to the bottom.
That rolls into the band that I have, a two-piece. My band that I would listen to forever. And I don't know if you guys would guess it, but you'll know the band because I'm not a
Black
hipster.
Keys.
That was it right away. Yep, that's it. The Black Keys. Or if you don't put the space in there, it's Black Keys. It's a different style of band.
You know what? I remember we played some of those songs. Like you told me about it, and I was like, wait, what?
The Black Keys. Oh, they're good.
There's
And
some record that
was
I
good
sent
stuff.
you to when you were younger.
the Black
Jack
Keys.
Johnson.
Jack Johnson. I love Jack Johnson. It's just anything I can play on the guitar is Jack Johnson. But the Black Keys are coming in October to Dallas, and both cigar smokers. So my goal is to bring the Black Keys in there. As a matter of fact, on their newest album that just dropped a couple weeks ago, smoking a cigar on the album artwork.
Nice.
So yeah,
They
check.
gotta get here.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
So if any of you know the manager or PR team from the Black Keys, let us know.
Well, we do know that Bill Burr will be in 2 weeks later, and he's a huge Principal fan, and actually in a movie, smoking a Principal Aviator. So we might have access to
That
Bill
would
Burr.
be the
That's a
greatest
door.
day of
That
your
would be a
life.
great day.
That would be a great day.
His show on Netflix is the absolute best. It's set in the 70s, and it's just perfect.
Thank you, Josh. Are you saying F is for family?
F is for family. That's it.
I have not watched it.
Oh,
I
it's
haven't
great.
either. I've seen bits. I haven't watched it yet.
I think you would dig it because you're definitely a product of the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I think it's close enough that you would pick up kind of that white collar family, but the dad is voiced over by Bill Burr. It's
Yeah, the dad tells him, I love you, but I'm going to put you through the fucking wall. And I thought, oh my God, everybody my age was raised just like that.
it's good. I think you guys would dig it. It's really good. Oh, Bill Burr just released another. Oh, we got to watch that.
He's got a daily podcast, too, that he does that's great.
The Monday Morning Podcast.
Yeah.
Watch that. Or listen to it, rather. It's. Oh, you know what? Josh is coming in. He's coming in with actually a couple really good bands here. Rush and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Wow.
Who doesn't like the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Best bass play in the last 40 years, anyway.
Who's that, Flea?
Flea.
Come on.
What is the iconic 80s band?
Are you saying upholding in a positive way of the 80s culture, or just shitting on music culture and everything that is the 80s?
Yeah, it really depends on the genre, I think.
Because Phil Collins
Yeah.
upholds the 80s. Whitesnake shits on all music.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, but that's iconic to certain people, and they're all doing time. So I'm just saying, you know,
Your wife loves Whitesnake.
that, yeah, the White Snake and Meth Labs were.
Hold
pretty
it.
much came
Chris
together
Coulter
at the
doesn't
same
like Red Hot Chili Peppers?
What?
Huh?
White Snake is coming in. That's the iconic. No, Phil Collins is awesome. I love Phil Collins.
Chicago with Peter Cetera or Phil Collins. Take your pick.
Oh,
Have you seen
Love Chicago.
Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire together?
Oh my goodness.
Isn't it? They
That'd be pretty
played
damn cool.
separate, and then they came together and played at the end. That was incredible.
These are the first two people I've ever met that don't like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Sean Ratz and Chris Coulter. I thought we were
They've
closer.
kind of been out of the limelight or any light for a long period of time.
Yeah. I mean, Sean Ratz is as close to powder as I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying from a sun exposure standpoint.
Oh, okay.
You know,
He's got a little color.
Motley Crue, Poison. Yeah, all hair bands.
the rhythmic.
Oh, Journey though. Journey's pretty 80s.
yes.
Journey is
Journey.
oh.
Journey's timeless 80s.
Yeah.
Anybody that hears Journey, everyone's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
All right,
Absolutely.
so who's the best hair band then? We've had them all thrown out.
Wow, there's some.
I don't know.
There's
I
several
don't.
that have been out there,
No,
but I mean,
lots.
in theory, who's the biggest? I think Kiss was probably.
I was going to say
one that-
Kiss
Kiss.
has to
Kiss
be.
is the one that, I mean,
That's
it's kinda
considered
like
hair bands?
At the tip
they
top.
are
Yeah.
massive hair.
I mean, there were some that had more hair than makeup and stuff like that, but Kiss had like, it was the whole thing.
They kind of created though, didn't when that was late 70s,
Yeah, late
Yeah.
70s,
right?
early 80s.
Because even in Dazed and Confused, they were going to a Kiss concert, Dazed and Confused, and that
Yeah,
was
true.
But in the
79.
early 80s, all of a sudden the synthesizer becomes invented.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yep.
all of a sudden every song sounds like it's a theme song to Beverly Hills Cop.
I was going to say
That's
Beverly
right.
Hills
We
Cop.
went through that period.
100%.
Everything, all that.
Loved watching that as a
shoulder pads
kid,
went
man.
padded, and everybody was walking around like they're wearing a
Heck
mini
yeah.
shoulder.
Okay, so here's a question from Josh: hair band or stadium rock?
Stadium.
No, it's got to be
It
stadium.
has.
Stadium.
Amen.
Yep,
Hair, if we could just if we could kill two things that would make the world better, it would be, I think, probably the 24-hour news cycle and also hair bands.
Hair bands was more for ladies. I mean, it was more.
It was the
sexual
grown-up-
tension. And,
yeah,
you
it
know,
was the grown-up
about,
boy band.
You know,
Yeah.
thrusting and doing the hair and stuff like that. It wasn't as much about the music. And then stadium rock. I mean, that was like, that got to you.
And all those hair bands got totally revitalized by the Indian casinos because they needed people to show up. No way. Like, thank God for Choctaw. They have a
few in
place
Vegas.
to play.
Megan had a friend that took her out. I think it was a White Snake cover band or something like that. And she talks about the story of me when she came home that night. Woo! Yeah.
Lit up.
Oh, like you wouldn't a Christmas tree. Like, oh yeah.
All right, let's hop into the big three, shall we?
Yeah.
And I like the format of judging other people because I want to know from the people who are watching. I want you to just take a snap judgment of who it is that's sitting around the table.
Yeah.
Just answer for them where they're sitting on this spectrum. So these three questions are character judging questions. You've probably seen these before, and if you haven't, then I understand.
All right.
But these are all spectrum 1 to 10. 1 no, 10 absolutely. And we will judge you. Everyone will judge you. And the first one, Pops, please take it and let's go ahead and maybe judge Byers first.
We can do that. Byers, you are now in the judgment seat. Court will come to order. Brandon Byers, scale of 1 to 10. 1, you don't believe. 0, you're Adrian. And 10, you've actually had maybe a dinner or a snack with this person. Sasquatch.
Where do you think he says?
Where
1 to 10, where do you think he
that 1 to
says?
10?
I don't know. I'm going to give it like a 4. Just because I
a
haven't
safe
seen
answer.
it doesn't mean it's true. Not true.
That's a 4 for you. That's where you're at.
I'm at a 4.
That's pretty high up the spectrum. Where do you think Byers sits?
I don't know. He's probably seen some shit, I'm guessing. So I'm going to say he's probably somewhere along me. Just because he hasn't seen it doesn't mean it's not real.
So you think he's up maybe a 4
Maybe
with you?
in my ballpark, 4 or 5.
Where are you at?
I think Megan makes him watch a lot of Expedition Bigfoot,
Which will make you a non-believer.
which no, I just saw it season.
Oh my
finale.
goodness! All right.
Season, oh, really?
They got him on tape.
Yeah,
Like,
they should call that people in the woods making stupid sounds. But that's a long.
So I'm gonna say Byers is a 8.
Ooh, a big number. All right.
I am saying he's seen too much to believe in this bullshit. So I think he's a 2. I think he's a 1.9er.
Honestly, I feel like I'm a 3. I find it very entertaining. I think it's freaking hilarious. Now, again, I haven't seen whether, I don't know. I'm definitely in that I don't know. There's definitely, I mean, you can find something out there, and if you want to qualify that as Sasquatch, then hey, more power to you, brother. But, I think it's freaking entertaining. I love watching it.
He's a 3. Your wife was close at a 2. So just to give you an idea of marital problems, you're doing really good right now.
Oh, we're solid.
What I'm saying is Adrian is a hard 0.
Hard 0.
Kathleen is like a hard 8
I can see
or
that.
9.
I can 100% see that. Yep.
They are not eye to eye on
And
this.
they both
see that.
were on the show at the same time and looked at each other like, what?
What's wrong with you?
What is it?
How do you not
I
believe?
thought I knew you.
Yeah,
I can
It was
totally
a
see that,
long. They took a
100%.
long trip home.
Yeah.
They took. Question is, where do you think Pop sits on this? Where do you guys think Pop sits from a 1 to 10?
I'm going to give him a 1.
Wow. I don't know what to think of it.
I'm going to give him a 5. Yeah, I'm gonna give
5s,
him-
you can't say 5s. 5s are
come
invalid.
on. It's a good
It
number.
has to be
Okay.
a 4 or a
All right,
6.
okay, then 4 or 6. I'd say 4, just because. Yeah,
Oh, Adrian's watching. Shit.
I'd say 4 just because the amount of stuff that he does. I mean, again, I think he would find it entertaining, but he's got stuff to do.
Pops is an 8. Pops is an 8. What is your number?
I'm between 7 and 8.
Yes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you want to tell him? You want to tell him why?
Well, there's when I was young, my dad's uncle was as the sheriff of Nebraska City. Nebraska City is where
Trustworthy
Arbor
people.
Day was created. I mean, it's a woodsy area south of Nebraska. It's in Nebraska City, and he was the sheriff. And he called us up, and he's like, "You got to come down and see this." So we drove down, and we saw that it was a watermelon patch. And I've dropped my fair share of watermelons, and they'll kind of, but they were like splattered with these
Like
long
flattened.
steps, and then just like splat. Not like a cow stepped on it.
Like a
or
cow stepped on it.
No, it was like, it was splattered. So he believed, therefore I believed, and so I personally think it's a monkey, and there's been some documentation that shows that when they're matching up these sounds that are happening in the woods, it has a cadence and a similar sound to the way monkeys communicate. So I think it's a monkey. And the other thing that skews me a lot is I trust McClurkin.
That's the problem.
And McClurkin is a 13.
Yeah, that's the
McClurkin's
problem.
had shit thrown at it.
And this is from a guy. Pops, what was your first word?
My first word?
Yeah, I know because Grandma Mickey has told me your first word.
I'm sure it was a cuss word.
It was no. Your first word was no, and you're still a 7, which bumps it to an 8.
Yeah. All right. I'm going in. I'm going in 8.
There's a lot of unexplored territories. I mean,
Look, Megan Byers is in. I teeter. I have fun.
the way you say it like that, I mean, there's still so many things that haven't been like correctly identified and stuff like that. So I mean, Yeah, my
It's
number's
part of
going
the
up.
evolutionary chain.
Yeah,
I mean,
my
it
number's
just at
going
some
up.
point there was a real furry guy before it went upright and the hair all fell off. So
look, my only bugaboo with this whole deal is I lived in Nebraska for 23 years, never once saw a watermelon patch.
well, you never went. I deprived you of all the really fun things to see in Nebraska.
Squash
They found out
watermelons
they
in
could make
Nebraska
more
City.
money on corn, is what they figured
Yeah,
out.
that's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah, that's.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, Judgment Zone number 2.
We're in the zone now.
We're.
Are you
deep
feeling
in
it?
the zone.
I'm feeling it.
Are you
We're
feeling?
there.
Are you feeling the digits?
There's no sweat. He's.
I see a light dew forming.
Well, it's because I'm having too much of Scottie Pippen's ball sweat
Also,
here.
thank you, Scotty, for dropping that off.
Thank God. Thanks for being a sweater, sir.
Also,
Your sweat is luscious.
Kathleen is letting you know that it is an
Sweet hint.
ape, not a monkey. Monkeys have tails.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what.
That sounds like somebody that speaks from experience.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, monkeys have
They're
tails.
going to Iowa. And
They will see apes and
I've met
monkeys.
girls in Iowa that have curly tails. So just you guys will see that. I did do a search because they're going to Iowa. So I did a search for them to show them where actually have the map of where all of the hot spots are to spot Bigfoot in Iowa.
Des Moines' a hot
and
spot.
there was one sighting that was reported where a truck diver watched Sasquatch chasing a deer through the field.
Oh my God.
And I'm just thinking that had to look like some little kid at the fair chasing the greased pig. Yeah,
Button busting.
Favorite
Yeah.
movie as a kid, Harry and the Hendersons.
that was a good.
Harry and the Hendersons, baby.
You know what? You are an 80s child. And you also turned me on to a movie that you said was kind of like Hook. It was nostalgic. It was like incredible.
Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator. That one wasn't
Hook
very
was
good.
a great movie though.
Oh,
I'll watch Hook. I'll fast forward to the first 40 minutes of kind of setting it up, and then it gets really good.
Yeah.
Ever from the mermaids on, it's Hook.
Yeah.
I think the best part is when he gets drunk, he's in the nursery or whatever, and he's chasing Tinkerbell. Firefly from hell!
It's the food fight scene is
That's classic.
maybe the best cinematic moment
As
in
a
the
kid,
history.
you get so hungry, you're like, oh, what is that? I want that so bad.
All of those little, all the colors, everything.
All right, so there was an 80s.
Rufio.
Roofy. Oh, Megan Byers, you are hanging in strong.
There's an 80s movie that's one of my absolute favorites, and no one's ever watched it. But it was a movie called Mischief with Kelly Preston before she was married to Travolta. And she has a nude scene in this.
Was she hot?
Oh my God.
What's her name?
Kelly Preston. She's dead now, unfortunately.
I'll skip what
So-
we did last week or a couple weeks ago because your wife's on. Kelly Preston.
Yeah. So anyway, this was when I was getting to the age of learning the way the world worked, and I probably watched that 3 minutes of that movie more than I watched Star Wars, and I've watched a lot of Star Wars.
A lot of fast forward, rewind,
my
pause.
I'm pretty
That's
sure I
VHS.
bought 3 or 4 of those VHSs.
Yeah, you
'cause they
just
kept
wore
breaking.
that.
You just wore that side
my
out.
God.
Oh yeah, that's
Click.
top notch.
She was also in the Tom Cruise movie where he was the sports agent.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jerry Maguire.
Jerry
it is.
Maguire, thank you.
That's it. Okay, so
Was she the redhead?
Yes.
Chris Coulter, also Gerald Michael Thomas Bonjour. I don't know if that's one name or like 6 names. Welcome, all of you. Okay. All right. Well, I will skip past this question because that question will get you into a conversation when you get at home, and I'm not going to do that to you.
Okay.
Okay. That's pretty solid. 80s. Okay. We're going to take a step, and then we'll move back to Judgment
Okay.
Zone.
Okay. All right.
80s movies. What is the best 80s movie?
Oh man.
What?
Man,
Okay,
you've got-
actually, let me back this up because the best is a lazy way to ask it. What's the most nostalgic 80s movie to you? And I want to see these. I want to see your answers in the comments.
There were so many. The problem is there were so many good 1979 releases that it took a while. When you had Animal House and The Jerk and all those all coming out at the same
Nerds.
time.
Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds.
But you also that also had Dazed and Confused. That's 1979. That's 3
Yeah.
killers.
When was Breakfast Club?
That had to have been early 80s, 81-ish.
Yeah.
I think it was around the time when I was born.
There was
like
a-
82, 83.
There's a
That's
lot
kind of a
stars.
cult classic, though.
Yeah, so
That lost me.
my
That
favorite,
wasn't-
the first R-rated movie I ever watched was Animal House, and that is an absolute classic.
It is a classic.
Animal House,
Yep,
but
yep.
that's 70s.
Oh no, it's 82.
Yep.
It's in the 80s.
I thought it was
What?
79.
Yeah, I
Is
thought
it? I thought it was after Blues Brothers, which is also an
Blues
iconic
Brothers is
80s
classic.
Animal House. Let's check it out.
So you have Animal House, Caddyshack, of course,
Oh,
Caddyshack 79.
No, it's not. Is it?
and it came out with the Jerk. Jerk, I think, was 79 as well.
78.
Oh,
78
my
is
God.
Animal House, so
All right.
try again.
I said, rated
That,
it.
Oh, here you
Caddyshack.
go. Red Dawn was good.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
See, I like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders
Big-
that was
big
good.
budget
Adventures
movie.
in Babysitting.
E.T. and Goonies.
Oh, how are you? Come on, let's go.
E.T. and Goonies. One of my favorite. Okay, Adrian just hit one.
Weird
hit
Science.
Hit a doubles.
That's got a
weird
928
science.
in it.
It's got a
Harry's
928.
Harry and the Hendersons.
And that girl was hot.
Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, she was, yeah. Red Dawn, 16 Candles. That was the 80s? Was 16 Candles?
Yeah.
16 Candles was
Poltergeist
What was-
scared the shit out of me.
Poltergeist made me afraid of trees
What was,
until now.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal.
He would go as Steven Seagal.
Heck
over there.
yeah, it was a huge action. Like when they came out with what was all the 80s, all the 80s action guys, the movies.
Sorry.
Team A.
No, God.
All right. What
heard
was
that
the
today.
movie where he was the chef on the submarine because he was done being
a
a
battle
Navy
cruiser.
SEAL?
That's the one I'm talking about.
That's
Battle cruiser.
it.
It was
Hunt for Red October?
No,
Under
Tommy
Siege.
Lee was the Under Siege.
And Under Siege
yes.
2. Under Siege 2 was when he was on a train.
That's
Under
right.
Siege
Oh.
was when he was on a battle cruiser.
Like,
Out
guys.
for Justice, another great one.
Under Siege, yeah, these guys are in. Caddyshack. Oh, look, the 80s had some good
Oh, it
movies.
had
Hey
great
Chang,
stuff.
it's a parking lot. What are you doing?
Like some of the 80s,
Hey,
like
that
sci-fi
looks good
stuff.
on you, though.
Had Kroll.
Did you get a bowl of soup with
That
that?
little star sword thing that would fly. Oh my God, that was.
All right, so then you've got Risky Business.
Oh, I used to love watching that movie.
Risky
over and over and
Business.
over again.
That's
I
so
had
we've got
such a
2
crush
928 films.
on that,
and
that the main
Rodney
actress.
Dangerfield, Easy Money, classic 80s movie.
Yeah.
Easy Money.
Yep.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills
That
Cop.
yeah, that's just. I mean,
Top
that's a
Gun.
given.
How can we not mention Top Gun?
Yep,
Gun.
Yep,
Today's
yep,
age,
yep,
we have to.
yep.
There were some good movies.
They were
Trading
great.
Places.
Trading
Places.
That was
Trading Places.
When was that? What year was
Big.
that?
Big.
Big. Tom Hanks.
Yep. Big.
Turner and Hooch would have
Turner and
probably
Hooch,
came
oh
from
my
the 80s.
gosh.
Yeah.
There was one where it's actually on HBO Max right now. It's like something volcano. He goes to jump in a volcano. He's dying. That one I used to love watching that.
That sounds like a terrible movie.
Oh, it's a horror.
Back to the Future?
Great. Back
Was Back to the Future in there?
You know, was that late '80s, early '90s?
Well, it had a DeLorean, so that would have been mid
It had to
80s.
be
yeah,
80s.
yeah. I
Right,
think
what was
like
DeLorean? Was 1985-ish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
85, 80.
By the way, I think I've got a DeLorean to come to the Halloween party.
No.
All right.
Park out front. It even shoots smoke out of the back.
So
There's
It's
a
gotta have
there's
a
a
flux
movie
capacity.
prop.
It does have a flux capacitor.
There is a movie prop auction that I saw that's getting ready to go off that has some
Joe
really
in the
cool
volcano.
stuff.
Joe and the volcano. That's it.
But they have tons of Star Wars stuff in there, movie prop stuff. But some of the things that are in it that were really cool. One was one of the DeLoreans that was in Back to the Future,
God, it's gonna
and the other one that is iconic is the ball. What was the ball's name in? Remember the ball's name in the movie?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The ball's name?
Tom Hanks. We used to call it
Wilson.
Wilson.
You're talking about the movie where he crashed the plane.
The ball. Yeah, the ball had a goddamn name.
I
I
don't
thought you were talking
know.
about the horror movie, like what is it, Phantasm?
I was
where
like,
it's
what kind of
little
movie?
balls.
I thought he was talking about Flubber over
Their
here.
balls anyway. But Wilson, the original Wilson, is in the auction.
That's going to go for like $14 million.
It's gonna
Oh,
go
I
for
can't
All
big
right, so
money.
what's the most quotable movie of the 80s?
Oh,
70s, it had to be The Godfather. 80s, it has to be
I
Trading
disagree.
Places, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Rocky.
No, I've got one. I've got one more than all of them. Coming to America. There is no more quotable movie than
Yeah.
Coming to America. Maybe Trading
Here at
Places.
ICC.
Every time
In
you
my
talk
world.
about boxing with the white man,
Yeah.
he brings up Rocky Machi.
Oh, we got to bring up. He's 127 years old.
He kicked Joe Lewis's
Harlem
ass.
Harlem Nights.
Nights.
Is that
When
80s?
were the Fridays shows?
Those were the 90s.
That would have been
Ice
90s.
Cube did not get popular until the early 90s. So that would have been early mid-90s.
No, Dragnet. That's what I'm thinking. Dragnet.
Yes.
Dragnet, the movie.
With Dan Aykroyd and
Dan
Tom
Aykroyd and Tom
Hanks
Hanks.
before he got serious.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Oh, you need to.
Oh my God.
I've never
So-
seen it.
What about,
is
have you ever
awesome.
seen Night Shift? Michael Keaton is like an accountant that is becomes an accountant for hookers, and he's operating out of a morgue.
Oh, it's the Fonz was in that.
Yeah.
Henry
Yeah,
Winkler.
Henry
Winkler's in
was
it?
It's
Yeah.
classic.
What's that called? Night Shift?
He
called
gives them a
Night Shift.
health plan because they didn't have anyone representing them.
Yes.
It's a classic movie. What a
kidding me.
movie.
But he was an idea man. Michael Keaton was an idea man. His name was Blaze, and he carried this tape recorder around with him, and he would do things like feed mayo to tuna. You know, just in a let's make tuna salad sandwiches. Feed mayo to tuna, and then he would record it and then
The
go on
frat, the frat
Josh.
party in the morgue had to be the best.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, okay, I'm gonna watch this,
Yeah.
so don't give anything up. Josh coming in with an absolute classic of classics, The Princess Bride.
Oh my
Come
God.
on,
Love that movie.
that is a movie that cannot
Anybody
get
want a
old.
peanut?
Anybody want a peanut? Oh, that word, it does not mean what you think it means.
What's the line? Never gamble with the Sicilian when life is on the line.
When they're trying the poison.
When death is on the line.
That's it.
Man, there were some terrible cars
Billy
that
Crystal
came out
in
of
that
it.
movie. God, his lines in that movie were awesome.
The whole movie was great.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Mutton, lettuce, and
I couldn't
tomato
get my
sandwich.
kids to sit down and watch it with me for 5 minutes.
Spaceballs. I mean, we're talking slapstick.
Spaceballs.
We're talking slapstick era. We've got Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
Okay, this was in the 90s, but
Have fun
we
storming
lived
the
in
castle.
Fort Worth, right off of Roof Snow. And this is when you could, go out and then come back when the street lights, and you didn't have to worry about it. My mom gave me some money and sent me to Blockbuster because it was just a few blocks down the road. And went to Blockbuster and had me rent Blazing Saddles by myself. I was in elementary school, okay?
Your mom?
And they let me get it, too.
I like your mom. I like.
And I had no clue what this movie was. And when I sat down and watched it, I was like, they let me rent this. Wow.
Wow, that's interesting. I was hoping that Monty Python and the Holy Grail was
Yeah.
in the 80s, but that's
Monty
75.
Python,
Really?
That's
What
75.
about,
Tis
you know
just
what?
a
When
flesh
was
wound.
History of the World? Was that
Oh my God.
early 80s,
Another
like
good one.
70s? Because that's Mel Brooks.
History of the world.
Oh, so
Young
you're a
Frankenstein.
bullshit artist.
Young Frankenstein.
Have you
Oh my
bullshitted
gosh.
this week?
Young Frankenstein.
Oh. Now, this is the segment where for 20 minutes we just rattle off movie names.
Favorite movies. Yeah.
But I appreciate everyone else who's joining in. We have Spaceballs, thanks Marty Upton. Sean Ratz, Roadhouse, Stand By Me. Stand By Me is a little
Roadhouse,
bit heavy
yeah.
for me.
Wait, I have to get it out of my system. What brain did you get? It was Abby something. Abby what? Abby normal.
Abby Normal. Yes.
Man, I tell you.
It was the Gilded Age of movies. It really
Yeah.
was.
It was.
really
I mean,
was.
and if you look at, I don't know what year it came out. I think it may have been the late 70s. But if we're talking Gene Wilder, we're talking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's probably the most nostalgic movie, other than Hook.
Oh, yeah.
He sure did kill a lot of people in that movie for a children's movie.
Yeah.
It changes. See, I had lived a lot of my childhood up until my adult years that I realized that there was only 8 spaces on the boat. So he never intended for 9 people or 10 people to go on that boat. He intended Augustus to drown in the chocolate river. That's a heavier movie when you
That's
watch it that way.
premeditated.
Well, I
right
mean,
there.
my understanding was it was a lot. That original was a lot lighter. That's when they did when with Depp they made it a little bit darker because that's what it was originally intended to be. The book was a lot darker. That's like when they go through the tunnel and you see the bugs and stuff like that. That always weirded me out as a kid. I'm like, all this songs and light and color, and then there's that. But then it made sense because that was their like true to the book type of deal where it was dark.
Well, and dying in chocolate's the second best way to go. So
That is, we all know what the first best way to go is, but Josh is coming in super strong with OG Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, I take back
Christopher
everything
Reeves,
I said.
Superman.
Rick Moranis made that movie, and he was
did.
kind of the unsung hero.
Okay, who brought the dog?
You do your own taxes, which is something you
I
really
just
shouldn't do.
watched that brand new one, Afterlife.
Not watching it.
It was
Oh,
a
you
decent
have to.
little flick.
We're not watching it.
It brings a closure.
Is it
to-
good?
Oh, 100%.
They didn't ruin it like Jurassic Park?
No. Well, so the one they did with the girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was so sad when I watched that. This Afterlife one.
Oh, great. Okay, I'm watching
They bring back
it.
the original bad guy. They bring back the original team, and like with some legacy in it. Oh yeah.
It's worth, okay,
It
so
is
it's worth watching. And it's not just some
100%.
bullshit.
No, it's
put it
a
out there.
legitimately good remake.
It was.
Oh, great.
They
amazing.
tie in the old
This
characters.
was how it was supposed to close. Right there.
You're kidding me. Okay,
Oh,
great.
oh.
That is, okay. That's all I needed to know.
It like
Marty Upton
I
is-
watched it on Father's Day with my dad. And I was like, yeah, okay.
And they actually bring back Harold Ramis in a real way, which was kind
What
of
do you mean?
Oh yeah. After they do CGI, you know how they're
They
doing
do
like
CGI, it
with
was
Princess
great.
Leia and stuff like that. They do the CGI, and he comes. Yeah, it's great. I don't want to give it away, but
Okay, good. Okay,
it is
that-
awesome.
You got to watch it.
Okay,
It's-
we'll watch
it's
it now.
a worthy watch.
It's kind of like Coming to America. I haven't watched a new one because I know it's going to ruin it.
I haven't watched it
Anchorman the
either. I'm
second
so
ruined
scared
the
to watch
first.
it.
The new one checked all the nostalgic boxes. It was really pretty good.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, because Jurassic Park ruins it. Dumb and Dumber ruins
You talking
it.
about
Oh
the
my God.
brand new Jurassic Park?
I'm just talking about all the Jurassic Parks after the 1994
Yeah.
blockbuster.
Yeah, I'm just glad they didn't like do another 40-year-old virgin. Just leave it alone. You nailed it.
Yep.
Don't do the 42-year-old virgin. It doesn't. It's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
The 59-year-old.
Just
version.
leave it. Could you imagine if they did The Jerk Returns?
Oh God.
I don't see how they could.
No, you can't do that. Or something about Mary too.
Well, you couldn't.
Jerk
You couldn't
Junior.
even show the jerk today.
No.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Iron Balls McGinty scene? You could not do that.
Plus, his stand-up, if you've ever seen it with Marty Short, is gold. Like, it's just a great show.
Three Amigos.
Three
Oh,
amazing.
come on.
I didn't think about Three Amigos. The part where they're singing in the desert and the horses. Dum 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 dum. Love it.
Drop your weapons. Not
that the
you,
80s?
Dusty.
Yeah.
That had
Yeah,
to.
oh yeah. That
was
had to have
80s?
been later.
That was the 80s,
Mid
yeah.
late
That was
80s, 89,
Yeah, it
yep.
was 80s. I remember watching
God,
that
that
as
was-
a kid. Like that was one of the
Oh, I'll
movies I
still
watched
watch it.
over and over and over and over again.
That's what I thought Mexico used to look like until I met my wife. I thought that's what all of Mexico was, just donkeys and desert.
All the abuelas outside sewing.
Yeah. What year was Caddyshack?
80.
I was going to say
I think it was.
79, 80, something like that.
I thought it was actually like 82, 83.
1980. 1980. That has an interesting back end too. You can watch the behind the scenes on YouTube.
I've heard a lot of stories about that between Aykroyd and Chase.
Oh no!
Absolutely.
Bill Murray and
Bill
Chevy
Murray and
Chase.
Chase, that's what
Bill
it
Murray
is.
and Chevy Chase. They almost shut that down multiple times.
Hate each
Harold
other.
Ramis it was his first movie ever directed, and he was so bad at directing that when he actually lined up his first shot of the movie, the first one, he's like, okay, we're gonna go from this tee box and we're gonna shoot it this way and it's gonna go that way, and the entire crew went, well, do you want us to move the cast trailers and the makeup trailers and everything was in the background. He didn't even know to look back forward. They had no idea what they were doing. 1986 Three Amigos.
Speaking of
So
Chase,
when was
Fletch.
Goodfellas? How have we not said good? That may have been 1990.
That's gotta be
We're gonna have to
90s.
look that
Good
up.
You
Goodfellas.
think so?
Oh, Goodfellas. I
That's
think
the
it
best
was,
gangster film.
Timeless.
That was
Yeah,
either
it is
late 80s or
timeless.
super early 90s. I thought.
1990.
Another
I was gonna
super
say
quotable.
super
1990.
Yes.
Fletch. Chevy Chase and Fletch.
Fletch.
Even Fletch 2 I thought was good, honestly.
Fletch was good. There.
Chevy Chase
How did
plays
she
stupid,
feel when you
really.
left? She felt fine to me.
Chevy plays stupid so well.
He really does.
Hang on. This one
He
just.
needs short shorts.
The
I call them
favorite,
Chevy Chase shorts.
all the vacations.
Yes, this one
Christmas
hangs.
vacation.
Thank you for putting. Did you see what I was typing in?
Huh?
I was just putting in Christmas Vacation. This hangs on the very end. This is winter of 1989.
Yes, good movie.
Oh, good movie.
It's
know
a
what I
watch
just
every
pissed
year.
off?
You gotta watch
Shitter's
it.
full.
What was the in Christmas Vacation?
Hey, honey, did you check our shitters today?
Oh, the uncle.
Russ. Uncle Russ.
Yeah, Russ. Did you know is it Dan Aykroyd's? No, not Aykroyd. He played in that baseball movie, The Rookie. I know his name.
Oh,
The Rookie.
Oh, what is his name?
I can pull it up, but I'm going to leave you in.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to look it up. Anyway, they're brothers, and I didn't know that until today. I found that out today. Hold on.
Bill Murray's brother was in a lot of different movies with Bill Murray.
Really?
Yeah.
he was
Shorter
in
guy.
Caddyshack. He was the guy that ran the Caddyshack.
He was the head
You're
of the
kidding
Caddyshack.
me.
That's,
That's who that is?
Yeah, that's his brother.
You're
Yeah.
kidding me.
No, he's the
one that's running the numbers,
He's the
he's
dad of the
gambling?
Bubble Boy in Seinfeld too.
Yep.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Uncle Russ is Dennis Quaid's brother.
Oh.
Like real life brother.
Randy Quaid is this guy's name.
That's
It's Randy
right,
Quaid. You're exactly right. So
I did
for the
not
past
know that
40
until
minutes, we've
today.
just been saying names.
Yeah.
And everyone's sticking with us, so we appreciate that.
Terminators. That's
Terminator, yeah.
You know what always scared
Terminator
me?
2 will always be my favorite.
Terminator, the Judgment Day was on August 29th, which is my birthday. I was like, oh no, this isn't good. I'm dying on my birthday, for sure. I thought
Yeah.
that was a... Okay, we're sticking on movies, right?
Yep.
It seems to be of interest to all. I want to know the movie that shook you at your core from a scary movie perspective.
Easy.
Mine's easy too.
Easy.
I couldn't, still to this day.
I forget the name. The Exorcist.
That's
That
mine
was
too.
mine.
That's yours? Oh.
I just remember I was in college. Exorcist 2 had an ad come on. I left the TV on. I woke up to these two eyes opening on the TV, and I literally pissed the bed. I mean, I might have done that anyway, but it was definitely because of the eyes this time.
You're kidding me.
Oh my God, it was horrible. Horrible.
The Exorcist. That feels real.
That theme music, if I hear that, it's just like,
it just
nope,
sends the shiver right down your
nope.
spine.
Change the channel.
Okay.
It is.
What's the movie that shook you to your core?
There was a combination of two. It was Night on Elm Street, first one, and It, the original.
Oh,
Okay.
when he put him in
I
cotton candy?
literally, after I watched those movies, and I watched all of them as a kid, and as I watched them, I was used to the 80s gory horror movies. I looked for the werewolves and the vampire. I mean, that was my thing as a kid. Monster Squad. Like, went after that stuff like candy. But for some reason, when I was in third or fourth grade, I literally had night terrors for a whole year. I could not go to sleep unless one of my parents was in the room with me or was sleeping like in my dad's arms in a recliner.
After which one?
The Night on Elm Street is what got me the
Nightmare on
most. And
Elm
it was mainly the girl who
Is that
was,
Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, Freddy
Yes.
Krueger. It was the original one that when the girl was like walking in the school in a morgue bag, and I don't know what
Larry
it was.
Adams
but,
is saying Exorcist. I'm going Poltergeist.
What
I-
were we doing
I
before
don't
we
know
got
what it was
on
about
movies? I
Poltergeist,
already
but I loved
forgot.
it.
No. We'll get back to that. We know where we're
Alright.
going. Exorcist from Larry Adams. Mine's Poltergeist. I remember
Poltergeist was-
because
yeah.
I would, when you were...
Poltergeist 2,
But it's the age
old
that
man.
you were. I mean, I was
Exactly.
very young when. I mean, I remember.
But not The Shining?
Exorcist. Shining was scary as hell too, but
The Shining never got me.
Exorcist just
Yeah, me neither.
the
We
bed
were too old.
shaking and elevating, and then the puking and all that stuff. It just
Her head spinning around.
Head spinning
Oh my
around.
God.
Yeah, see, that was new for special effects.
Yeah.
The first Poltergeist did give me. The second one with the old preacher, that guy gave me nightmares.
The original Poltergeist, outside of my grandma, outside of her room, there was a tree. I couldn't sleep. I had to sleep with my grandma and my grandpa. I had to. I
my
could
God.
not sleep at
I
her
can't
house
believe I
because
didn't
of
think
the
about
goddamn
this.
tree.
Pet Cemetery.
Ale. That's Ale. She was
Pet
terrified of the movie.
Cemetery. When that little boy with the top hat and his little voice. Oh no, sir. Mm-mm.
Sean Rat said Alien. No, Poltergeist. I'm going to watch Poltergeist again.
Children of the Corn.
Children of
that's
the
a good
Corn.
one.
Yeah,
From
Children of the Corn
Nebraska.
was-
I've never watched that
Oh,
movie.
I bet. Yeah, if you
I've
lived out
never
there,
watched it.
No, I wouldn't be able
never.
to.
That's no. I think that's real. Okay, so I do want to push to. Actually, Sean Ratz dropped a comment in, and this will be our last. This this will be the last push from a movie, and then we'll move back to some Judgment Zone and then take it back to something. The first R-rated film, or maybe the most memorable R-rated film that you saw.
Oh God, that's like all I used to watch as a kid. Like my house,
Your mom
my
said
mom would
you-
let me watch anything, but she had a problem with The Simpsons. Would not let me watch The Simpsons because they were disrespectful to parents in that show. But I could watch, R-rated stuff with all sorts of nudie scenes in it.
All right,
What
so
is it?
Most memorable.
I already announced that my first R-rated film was Animal House, but
That's
I have to say, Showgirls with Elizabeth Berkley, because when I was in high school, I watched Saved by the Bell like religiously. So this was
Because
absolutely,
of-
yeah, of course. So this was absolutely the best movie. And the greatest thing is, because I'm 49 and still crazy, I watched the new Saved by the Bell on Peacock. And Elizabeth Berkley actually refers to Showgirls, the movie that ruined her career, in the show, and actually does the dance on Saved by the Bell. It's fantastic. It's worth watching the 2 seasons just for that.
that's really good. That's really solid. Pops, what was your first?
Shoot. I mean, back then there was so much kind of random topless stuff that happened.
Yeah, and if it was
all
topless,
these
it would be rated R back then, right?
Yeah. What was crazy was there was a show called Clockwork Orange that was rated X. And that would have been shown at 7 o'clock on network TV now. I mean, it wasn't that crazy, but I always had something for Jamie Lee Curtis. So Trading Places.
Oh my God.
There were a couple of scenes in there with her and Aykroyd, and yeah, it was Jamie Lee was fine back then.
That wasn't the question we were asking. We were asking what the first R-rated film is you saw. That definitely wasn't Trading Places.
No.
He just went straight
we
to
have to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis.
He
though.
went
I'm just trying to remember what.
He went to the straight first tits he saw on cam.
There you
Well,
go.
the first good ones. Yeah, I don't remember what the. Yeah, I mean, like The Godfather was R.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, there's some of that stuff, but a lot of that was, more violence than anything.
Do you remember the movie that you took us to at 20 grand in Omaha? That was with the aliens and the alien bugs, stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers.
And isn't that what it was called, Stormtroopers?
Yeah.
No,
it was
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
That was probably the first R-rated film we saw. And do you remember the guy coming up to us? I remember because we were in the theater. We were like, go, go, go. And I distinctly remember the guy coming over and telling us, "Excuse me, you guys are being too loud. You're being too loud." Because I don't know how old we were, 8 years old.
Yeah, sure. The wrong
Was
age.
Starship Troopers the comedy troupe that's done a whole bunch of stuff?
No, Starship
No,
Troopers.
Am I thinking of something else?
No, Starship Troopers kind of at night. Okay, so I was 8. This was like a heavy duty.
That is something else. Okay.
So it's got these bugs. They go over, and it's this whole. It's an R-rated deal, but it's kind of like before Halo was Halo. That's
Yeah,
the look. It
that
had a
was the
very Halo look to
very
it.
much.
Oh man, it scared the piss out of me. That movie. That's the first one.
The Howling.
What's The Howling?
It was a werewolf movie, and there's been several, but the original Howling, and it had, it was a werewolf movie and stuff like
What a
that.
stupid looking
But
movie.
there was this one scene where this guy meets up with a girl in this forest or whatever, and then she just drops. And I remember as a kid, I was like, "Oh wow."
All right. What was the werewolf movie with Michael J. Fox? How did we miss that one? Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf.
That's right. Another
Teen Wolf.
80s iconic.
Yeah.
I think
it's
my
just not
first,
making the list.
I will tell you, I think the first R-rated movie that I saw, and I'm pretty sure it was R, was, and it's a classic movie, One Flew Over the...
Porky's. That's the
Yeah.
one.
Oh my God.
Porky's.
My grandmother used to let us watch Porky's at her house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That wasn't awkward or anything.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That is a classic movie.
That's
But
kind of
then
in
when
the
I was
same
young,
movie.
I think
That
that was
was an
rated
awesome-
R. And
That's
it
kind of the
was,
same Clockwork Orange type
yeah,
of.
but it was, God, what a good
It was
movie.
what? Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson,
Yep.
yeah.
Back to Judgment Zone.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, now we're ready to go. Scale of 1 to 10. Buyers, I'm going to ask you to please judge Jim Stanko on this one. Where do you think Jim Stanko falls in the spectrum of aliens?
I mean, jeez. I mean, 0 to 1.
Oh, shit.
Oh, 0 to 1
No.
pops. Where you at?
No, I got him 9.5. That's UFOs. That's
So-
physically landing here, flying around, believing the stuff that's happening. Plus, is there life someplace else? I'm going probably hard 10. I'm going to lean him up against the 10 wall.
Whoa. If I get rid of the 4, 5, 6 spectrum, I think I'm going to put him at a 7.
All right, that's a great question, and I have to tell you, I'm in the 8 or 9 version of this.
There we go. There we go.
Now, do
What'd
I
you say?
do I
I said-
believe?
I said like
okay, hang
0
on,
to
hang
1.
on. Do I believe triangle-shaped people are anal-probing Americans?
No.
No.
Have I
Europeans.
driven through rural America and seen lights that didn't make sense? Absolutely. Dave, you've done sales across the Midwest. You've seen some shit driving at night. I'm sure.
Yeah. A lot of it was on the road, but I can guarantee you this: I've met aliens. And the
I've
other
met
night,
Bigfoot here.
and the other night, I saw Tony Robbins sitting courtside on the basketball. He's an alien. His head is enormous.
Goddamn banana hands.
So Tony Robbins is an alien. Bill Gates is an alien. Elon's an alien. All redheaded females are aliens. So I think there's just. Have you ever met one not crazy?
Oh, come on now.
Okay, so
There's one sitting in the corner. We have
She's
to
not
tread
redheaded. Are you redheaded?
are you really?
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah.
Okay, so
I can't see her. I can't even see her with the light blasting me in the eyes here.
Exactly your point is they're translucent.
They are translucent. And she's been invisibly cloaking herself and hopping from side to side.
That's right.
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Courtney. Also, sorry,
notice how
Courtney.
Jim was he skated around that
Also-
redhead comment really quick.
Yeah, Josh said he ain't lying about redheads, though.
It's
It
science,
takes 2
man.
to indict.
It's science. But now the thought with hundreds of billions of universes and hundreds of billions of stars in each universe.
Every star has a planet.
How can we be this lucky?
Well, I saw that thing. Neil deGrasse Tyson did the thing where he put up like a little 1-inch mark. And he said in this 1 inch, in this part of the Hubble telescope, there's 1 million galaxies.
Right.
It just seems like we can't be it, but maybe we, who knows?
Where you? Oh, hold it. Judge Byers. Judge Byers, because he's excited.
All right, so the one conspiracy theory I've heard a lot of was they say the guys that have been in Iraq have seen the Sumerian temples and stuff. So
Is that
he's-
in Iraq? Is
That's in
Samaria?
Iraq. He's our guy. He's our ancient history guy.
Okay, so where do
let's
you
hear
think
what
he
has
says?
to say.
No, no, no.
aliens
Where do you
say.
no. We judge him now. He doesn't get to
Okay, so
justify.
for him, I'm going hard 8 for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to give him.
Paraforce.
I'm going to give him a 9. I think that's right.
I'm saying I'm saying he's over 6.
You know, I'd honestly give myself a solid 7. And here's my thing. You know,
saw
I've been to Iraq, and you know, I've been to some weird places. I've seen some very unique, I guess architecture. I've seen some really unique things that it's you know, now versus then and stuff like that. You could go like, okay, they went with quality and they went with hard work and stuff like that, and we went with cheap and cutting corners and da 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 da.
This guy's seen a
But
multi-pass.
Thanks,
I've
China.
actually-
You know it.
I've actually been dropped out into Area 51, okay? And a lot of experimental aircrafts like that, whenever they have crash site, they won't drive you out there. They will pick you up, and then they will drop you off with some food, stuff like that, and you have to like guard the
What?
site. Oh, yeah, you have to guard the site for however many days until they can get out there and collect everything. They confiscate any type of phone, any type of recording, anything like that. And, you know, I've never seen any type of experimental aircraft that looked you know, overly funny, that didn't look like something that we've made or another country has made. I've seen some weird aircraft before, but I have to go with the fact that, you know, with all the stars and all the planets and how big the galaxy is, I mean, it's hard to believe that this is the only planet that has life in it. So I go with that when it comes to that. But as far as I've met too many, I've screened too many calls on a military installation going, yeah, the aliens have landed again, and they won't leave me alone. And okay, sir, yeah, I'm going to send somebody out right now. I'm going to send, in next 10, 15 minutes. If they don't come, just wait another 10, 15 minutes. If they don't come, just wait a little bit longer. And eventually
How long
they
were you
will
in
come.
Iraq?
I was in Iraq for 5.5 months.
So this begs the question: did you send the men in black with the little flasher to erase the memory?
See,
or?
That guy-
that's thing.
the guy who's
I've
calling him
seen
does
some
not have
very
memory.
secretive stuff. I honestly can't say that I don't think there's some sort of government agency that, you know, isn't super duper ultra secret that you know, handles stuff like that. I mean, I also know a lot of the guys that work in the government, and at this point, good Lord.
Well, you know what? They all laughed at Trump for the Space Force, but Congress approved the budget. I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
Yes, they
I'll
did.
tell you right now, I would have raised my hand first volunteer to be on Space Force.
hell
I would
yeah.
100% been on that detail. 100%. Because that's the cool thing about security forces. You can be attached to any unit. Everybody needs cops. Everybody needs guards.
That's
So, heck yeah, I'd have been on that. I'd have been on that
So
train in a
somebody
heartbeat.
believed the videos.
it. There you go.
Otherwise, that
Buyers, have you
budget
seen
wouldn't
the
have got
Tic
approved.
Tac? Have you seen the Tic Tac videos?
The Tic Tac video.
The-
Excellent. We will show you afterwards.
Okay.
It is interesting. Interesting. Mr. David
and
Fravor.
I believe that the hiding place is not on the dirt; it's in the water.
Valid. Here's the thing,
yeah.
and here's why I think that's interesting, because I remember watching Avatar, and it blew my mind. Right? You remember when they're walking across, and there were all those translucent items that he waved his hands, and then they all shrank and went into the wood or whatever it was.
Yeah.
As soon as we did the liveaboard in the Andaman Islands, we did a scuba dive. There are those exact things on this planet underwater. So
Oh, yeah.
as they're out and you go like this, they will sink into the reef. So all of that space crazy stuff.
Well, you think about it,
is right there.
Just 2 years ago, this guy had this $16 million ball that he was able to get inside of. And they went to the 7 deepest parts of the world, and for the first time ever, put a craft on the bottom of the
I saw
deep
that.
parts of the ocean.
I saw that.
And these guys were going thousands of feet below what they had currently mapped.
thousands
They were
below that.
thousands of feet below it, and then drop it on the bottom, and there was life down there. So there's a lot more water than there is dirt, and to me, it just seems like if you're gonna.
What do you
hide-
think,
So
Stanko?
I'm so glad. Thank you for tagging me in here.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm ready. Just, you can sit back for a minute. I'm going to
Courtney,
go on
watch
a rant.
this.
All right. So I don't sleep well at night. I watch a lot of YouTube. And I was watching this thing on, they'll let you go anywhere in the world except Antarctica. We kill each other.
was gonna
Countries
say that.
hate each other except Antarctica. Every single asshole on Earth agrees that you and I can't go to Antarctica other than the one station that's right on the beach. So I'm watching all this stuff. I watched about an hour and a half of Antarctica is basically the wall that they had in Game of Thrones. And no shit, the 35,000 foot submersible into the Mariana Trench that Pops is talking about was all the other feeds that were on that one video I was watching. So I am a believer of some of this stuff. You never know.
Yeah.
Why?
Never
know.
We don't agree on anything. We don't agree on anything, but everybody agrees you and I can't go to the Antarctic. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are certain areas that that's a no-go. Absolute no-go.
Wow.
But, but you think about, like, what is it? My aunt got me into, Stargate, and there was Stargate, the one where they went into space and stuff like that. And just some of the stuff that they get for a lot of these things, it's like, where the hell did they come from? I know that some people are very imaginative. I know that they are. But like Tim Burton, a lot of these things that he comes up with is, you know, stuff that he's seen in his dreams and like, you know, stuff like that. But,
Peyote.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, just, there's got to be something that this is based off of.
Well, and the thing is, too, is I'm sure you can speak to this quite a bit. The Special Forces had Bluetooth 20 years before any civilian did, right? And it's the same way Formula One. Mercedes put paddle shifter in Formula One 10 years before they ever put it in a car. All this shit comes from somewhere. Where'd it come from? Right? We're reverse engineering stuff. Well, where did we get the stuff we reverse engineer?
I was with Panasonic, and they wanted me to run a TV factory in Troy, Ohio, so they took me to New Jersey, and they said, we're going to show you something that might change your mind. And they took me into a room that said janitorial supplies, closed that door, locked it, and then we went into another, like, moved this like janitorial rack and went into another massive room. And I saw, they said, what do you think of this aquarium? And I'm looking at this aquarium, and I thought, it's a pretty cool aquarium. And they said, no, that's a TV. And I'm watching ultra high resolution TV back when everything else was just, you know, super low. HD hadn't even come out. Wow. I'm watching, you know, plasma at basically 1080p. I don't know, 10 years before 1080p. And they didn't want anybody to know that it was there, but they knew they were there because of patents. The amount of patents that go out there, all of a sudden it just unveils that the shit's coming down the pipe.
I can see.
As far-fetched as it sounds, I mean, look at the Avenger movies, okay? Where they've got like alien tech and we're limited by the technology of our time. And then, you know, we've got all this stuff. We've got access to certain stuff, but then they come out with it when we've got the ability to reverse engineer it. And it's just, we didn't have the ability at that time when we got our hands on it.
I think if you do look at this, the Wright brothers were what, early 1916, 18. So
What?
we're 100 years.
What year did you say?
1916.
Okay, that sounds
Is that
good.
right? Let's Google it and see.
It's gotta
I
be
think he
close.
said 1600s there, but
Okay, no, I said 1916.
what'd you hear, Myers?
I heard 19, I heard 18, and I heard it.
19,
I heard a lot of
18,
numbers.
1916.
Yeah,
It was,
that's
I
what I
wouldn't say
heard.
1800s, 1900s. But 100 years, look at where we've come in flight. What if somebody's been flying for 10,000 years? How far technology has come since the 1970s? I got into the electronics business in 1980.
1903.
And I watched where technology has gone from, I got to sell the first cassettes, the first CDs, the first DVDs, the first digital, first SD. All that stuff happened in a relatively short period of time, 15 years.
Teddy Ruxpin.
But
as well.
Teddy Ruxpin. I sold Teddy Ruxpin. And
had one.
That is a good story as well.
But when you think about, let's say it's a 30-year, 40-year window, 50-year window. What if somebody's been doing it for 10,000 years? How far advanced would they be?
Right. And I mean, the story of Icarus, right? The boy who flew too close to the sun thousands of years. Okay. No more Scottie Pippen's ball sweat. For
Well,
me.
we've killed the entire. We've killed the bottle except for that.
No,
Scotty's
no.
ball
Oh, my
sweat
God.
Let's
is
go to
gone.
the Felicidad.
I'm going to
And
start.
Byers is so
if we keep
relieved.
this up, I'm going to get charming, and we don't need that. So. I'm getting it. We're getting conspiracy theory Jim
No, it's
now.
fun
Holy
though.
shit.
It is. It's definitely fun. It's. Because we're talking about technology. One of my favorite things is I bought a Teddy Ruxpin for Alessia.
Yeah.
But you have the story of the original.
I had I was a
The
sales
prototype.
rep. I was a sales rep. It must have been 1984, 83, something like that. And a guy called us up and he goes, "Hey, I have a product that I want you guys to sell for me. I think it'll do really well at mass merchant." So they sent us this prototype, and they said it's a doll, and you're going to stick this tape in it, and its mouth moves. And we're like, whatever. So we get the only Teddy Ruxpin. We get this Teddy Ruxpin prototype. Tape works. Its mouth's moving. We have the whole wrap. We're going to make cartoons. We're going to make all those accessories also. So it's going to be huge. So I called on an account called Pomida. It was like a small Walmart. And I took it into Pomida. The buyer's laughing at me. I'm showing this thing. I'm going, trust me, it's going to be huge. I left the thing with him. So then I called the guy and I said, yeah, I think Pomida is going to bring this thing in. And he's like, okay, great. Well, I need you to FedEx it back to me. It's the only one we have. I said, oh, I think the buyer was going to take it home to his daughter. And he goes, no, that's a $500,000 mock-up or a prototype. You got to go get that right now. Just hang up the phone, go get it right now. So I had to go to the buyer. The buyer had the thing. He was like ready to leave, and he had the thing ready to take home to his daughter, but it was the only
the first
it was the
Teddy
only
Ruxpin.
prototype.
I had one of those. I used to watch Teddy Ruxpin as a kid. He had this caterpillar-like type friend.
Yep.
And I had the movies.
Yep.
Yep, Teddy Ruxpin
And
Adventures.
with the mudglums.
His eyes moved.
And was the original like the voice of Gilgamesh, or what was in there?
That's a good point. That's a really good question.
I mean, I think the
It was
voice stayed
soft.
consistent.
Yeah.
The voice definitely stayed consistent.
friendly.
Yeah, it was very, very
nice.
soft.
Yeah.
It
But
wasn't
the
super
fact that his eyes
cartoonish.
moved and mouth moved with the tape.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, and what an indictment on boomer parents, right? Here, have a teddy bear that'll talk to you.
Yeah, I don't wanna
because
talk to you.
I'm pretty pissed off with listening to your shit.
yeah.
Let's move to the final.
I will say this
final.
about Teddy Ruxpin. We did wonder if we recorded our own tape, I wonder if his mouth would move to it. So we were going to just do like a bunch of dirty jokes and then have Teddy Ruxpin telling dirty jokes.
Just like an old school tape when you were recording, you hit the play and the record on the radio.
Yep. Mixtape, baby.
You just go over all the voiceover they spent $500,000 on. Yeah, that would be incredible. All right, final judgment zone question. I think we should judge Jim first on this.
Yeah, I think so.
Or James.
This one I'm kind of.
Where do you think he's
to
at?
me,
You think
the
he's
UFO is pretty low hanging fruit, but I'm.
All right, let's
Jim
hear it.
Seiko, Brandon Byers. Where do you sit the spectrum of 1 to 10 with ghosts and spirits?
Two different things.
Two different things. Apparition
Seen it.
or
door
connecting
slamming.
with the spirit world.
He watched a lot of YouTube. So
Where do you think Jim is, Byers? William Treadway is coming in, both 10s. Come on in. We'll have you on the show.
You know, I'm going to go with an 8.
I'm going to say he watches a lot of YouTube, so he's probably ran into some of the evidence. You know, it's true because it's on YouTube.
Yep.
I'm going to say he's a 8 on apparition and hard 10 on spirit.
Okay. All right.
Where are you
I'll
at?
go 7-8.
7-8.
I'll go 7-8. How do you take your steak, first and foremost?
Okay, medium rare for
Thank
how
you.
I take my steak.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
all right. So
Good
you're
man.
normal.
Let's just go ahead. Does anyone just go ahead and raise your hand if you take your steak medium rare? Okay, that's done.
I'll take it rare too if things
Yeah, I
happen.
like
They
a
really don't
warm
do that
rare
anymore.
because medium rare has become medium in the current world.
Yeah.
Yeah, medium rare
they
needs to be
identify it
super
as medium
juicy,
rare.
eaten a little bit.
Wait, how does that help you answer my question?
That's another
Caller
question.
on
He knows
that.
we're not getting that.
All right.
Okay, so where do you sit on the ghost spirit world?
All right, so I've got to tell you, I'm polar opposite than I am on the alien issue. I am a 0 on the spirit. Oh. I will tell you, I have seen my maternal grandfather in a dream 2 times. He did not speak to me in either dream. He just nodded his head yes or no to my questions. So the only time I've ever had a spirit running in my life is my son came downstairs screaming that an old lady was chasing him. And I built this house, so I know that nobody ever died in the house that I know of, at least. So I'm assuming he was high on marijuana at the time he was saying this, or something worse. But
7-year-olds.
I am actually a solid 0 on the spirits thing. The aliens, I can get my head wrapped around. You know, I watched when I watched the Eternals, I was like, holy crap, this Gilgamesh thing kind of makes sense to me. You know, the Sumerians may have been right about this. But yeah, I'm a 0 on the
And
spirits
he has
and ghosts.
experiences and still says
With
0.
experiences, yeah.
Well, but seeing someone in a dream, that's a rational thing, right? There's tons of psychology on that.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. No,
I have never seen anything to make me believe in ghosts.
Okay. Where do you think Byers sits? It's a good. Oh,
I'm
boy.
with Byers. I'm gonna say he's seen a lot of shit.
I mean, he's almost been a ghost 2 times.
yeah. He tried his
for damn sure.
damnedest.
Is that 2 times you've almost
Yeah.
died twice?
Yep.
Yeah, so I would say
I'm sub 5.
I would be very interested in if you were at that near death experience. If your near death experience is what people report, but with all that being said, I would say Byers is a 7.
All right, so Pop stole my answer. I was going to say a 7 with exactly the same logic. And it all goes back to a joke that Daniel Tosh does. And he says something to the extent of not having to drop my girlfriend off at the airport was worth 1 tower. Not 2, 1 tower. And he said, now I don't have to go inside and go through security and wave at the window while she backs up. So I'm going to say, with him having the experience he had and the injury he had, I'm going to say a 7. I think that's fair.
I think, well, there are no atheists in foxholes. So that
damn
changes
sure.
me to be +5 into the 6 realm. But I do want to know, for those who are hanging with us, your experience. Now, you don't have to, go through it, but your experience and your justification of your answer and what you think is why your number. Because we all talk bullshit. You're the only one that's ever knocked on heaven's door twice that we've ever spoken to. And so you are the only person we've ever spoken to that actually has this experience.
You know, I'd say that I'm a solid 3. To be perfectly
Really?
honest with
Okay,
you. A
3.
solid 3. And here's why. I grew up in Waxahachie, Texas. Okay, there's a lot of different haunted houses and old places, stuff like that. One in particular is called Catfish Plantation in Waxahachie. It's been known for being haunted. It's been on TV shows. A guy that I went to school with, his parents owned it, and I spent a lot of time there. And I tried so hard to have some sort of experience, and not once did it ever happen. I mean, I went to rooms by myself and just dared it. Like, you know what, this bullshit, come on, do something. I dare you. I mean, just daring, and nothing would ever happen. And so I've never had that type of experience. I mean, I've been in a place where I'm all by myself and it's pitch black and it looks like something. If anything was going to happen, that's when it was going to happen.
Uh-huh.
And my heart's pounding, but never had an experience. Okay?
So did you do the Lieutenant Dan 2 middle fingers up in the air? Come and get me!
I have. I've been. I mean, I just come on, like show me something, you know, and nothing, absolutely nothing. It could have just been, you know, people had experiences, and it could have been like, look, this guy, I got nothing to prove, you know. But my near-death experiences, honestly, weren't what you would think they were. They really weren't.
So you
It
didn't
was-
see your life flash in front of you or anything?
It's amazing how alike we are. I have had the dream of both my grandfather and my grandmother after they have passed. And one was my granddad leaving the house that we were living in that belonged to him. And we had it remodeled, everything. And he was walking out the door. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, well, I got to go. And then that was it. And I woke up, and I mean, I bawled. And similar with my grandmother, it was a weirder conversation, but it was after she had passed, and I mean, I was messed up for a week after that.
Yeah.
But my own near-death experience, you're absolutely right when you say there's no atheist in a foxhole. You're 100% right on that. I have never prayed so much in my entire life, and as I was bleeding out in Iraq, I mean, I said the Lord's Prayer. I bargained. I bargained for my life just to allow me to get to a certain point so that I could at least do my goodbyes and you know, say my farewells, and like, I guess just put a period at the end of it, you know. For as short as it was, I wanted to have a period. And I got that and then some. And then a little bit later on, I mean, had it not been for Megan, I mean, I would not be here. Like, I was stubborn, had a 102, 103 fever. Like, I mean, was trying to go take a nap. I just felt bad, and she rushed me to the ER. They were like, if you'd gone to sleep, that'd have been it. Had a staph infection. It was bad. I mean, the last thing I remember is they're putting ice all over me, and that was the last thing I remember. And then I wake up in a hospital room, and there was in there for another 5 or 6 days. And but I never saw light. It was just, I remember coming out of my coma. They put me in a medically induced coma for, I think, 3 days, 2 or 3 days. And I remember coming out of it. I could hear my own voice, but it was black. It was pitch black. I don't remember anything. I didn't see anything, but I have faith.
So let me ask you, so the IED goes off, right? You're a machine gunner. You get blown up. The whole thing's.
It's a whole nother world when you're inside a vehicle, and it's a whole nother thing when you're outside the vehicle. Because when it went off, my waist down was inside. My waist up was just completely exposed. This was before ballistic bubbles. This was before, I mean, I had an old style crank turret where the crank was busted. You had to use your body weight to sit there and like make it turn, and then we used bungee cables to make it stay in place. Like, everything was jerry-rigged. And when it went off, you hear absolutely nothing. And it was like...
So you went into shock, like it moved in slow motion.
Instantly, it was
like
exactly
Saving
like slow
Private
motion.
Ryan.
It was exact. I mean, it was literally like you were watching Saving Private Ryan, and you muted it, and you just saw it going off. I remember, you know, the plume of dirt and like a small orange flash, and it wasn't quite dusk. The sun was going down, but it wasn't dusk yet. And when I woke up, I was no longer standing up. I was laying down, and I look up, and the tip of my ring finger is just like dangling by some skin in my glove. And I could see blood on my hand, but I didn't see the giant hole that had been blown in my hand. And I looked down at my leg, and it was in tatters. And I instantly started. At first, I was like, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap!" And then the tears came. And then the more I rubbed, the worse my vision got, because it was mixed in with blood, because I had smacked my head. And then you remember. God, it's so weird. You think that you won't remember a lot of the training that you go through, because some of it just seems stupid. They just drill it in you and drill it in you, and you're like, this is flipping stupid. This goes how I'm not gonna remember any of this shit. And it's amazing that you do. When your life is on the line, you remember some shit. Because I remember all of a sudden I was cold, and I was like getting super tired, and it clicked in my brain, you were losing blood. You were losing a lot of blood. If you were this tired, this soon, you were losing blood. And so I laid still, I stopped moving, and which scared the crap out of my teammates, because they're trying to get me out of there, and all of a sudden I stopped saying stuff, I stopped moving, and they freak out, and they're like, bye bye, and I'm like, I'm fine, I'm just trying not to move, I'm trying to just be as calm as possible. And they got me in a helicopter, and they had to stop midway because of the amount of blood. I had 6.5, 7 bags of blood put back in. I mean, you were on empty. Yeah, if it had been 3 years prior, that'd have been it. I mean, the medic notes, like, they're like, look, no. They told my team, hey, the likelihood is slim. I mean, very, very slim that we're going to get him to somewhere and he's going to be okay. And that was why they put me in a coma, because the transfusions and all the work they had to do and everything like that. And, I can definitely, I totally say it's a miracle. And, I will never forget the bargain that I made. And that's why for me personally, that's why I push as hard as I do. I mean, life's too damn short. It's too damn short, and you might not wake up tomorrow. So.
Well, I'd like to say thank you for sharing that, because first of all, it's the quietest the three of us have ever been since I've known these gentlemen. And I think it's important that people hear stories like that to know what the real cost of freedom is. That's very important. And One of the things I always hear people say, thank you for your service. And I don't think they understand what they're saying when they say that. Mm-hmm. When you go through something like that, it's obviously your life's been impacted for the rest of your life. And that's just a debt none of us can repay. And it's just incredible to me. So thank you.
Amen.
Appreciate it, guys. People say thank you for your service. And a lot of people, there's a lot of guys, a lot of gals that don't know how to receive that don't know what to say. And some of them just have this like tormented look on their face because they're not looking for adulation, they're not looking for thanks or anything like that. And some of them are disgruntled. They just are. But I always encourage people, don't ever stop saying that, because you could be the difference between life or death for somebody. I mean, honestly, that the 22 kill, honestly, it's up to 23. It just, there's a lot of people, veterans in particular, that just don't know what to do with all this after the fact. And someone coming up and saying, hey, I just, thank you. They might not say anything, but inside it means the world. And you were the right person at the right time at the right day to come up to that person and remind them that, hey, this is fucking hard, and it's going to get harder, and it's never not going to suck. But there are genuine people out there that genuinely care, that genuinely have hearts, and because of that, I think wholeheartedly that when you go through something like that, similar to that, you have a responsibility to keep going as hard as it is. And it is. I'm not going to lie. Like, shit, I've had a little too much. There are days it sucks. It sucks, and it hurts a lot. I mean, there will never be a day that I get out of bed that I look down and don't see a reminder that, this could possibly be a really shitty day. And I don't know how many times I've fallen. I don't know how many times when, I've taken my leg off, and it just, some days putting it on, it takes a lot to put the damn thing back on. But there's always somebody in a much worse situation, much worse situation. And life is too fucking short to just stop, to just not. I mean, life is a constant ripple, and everybody has an effect on everybody else. And I think everyone has a responsibility to just keep on keeping on, because that's what makes life livable, is the people in it and the experiences that you have. So,
Byron, sign us off. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Just
First and foremost, to life.
To life.
I'm glad we're doing it here tonight. It beats the alternative.
Damn straight.
We had a member here that his daughter was in a horrible car accident, and she was upset because she got this big cut on her head, and she's going to look bad. I said, "She have a pulse? If she's got a pulse, she's okay." We've lost some people close to us.
We've lost people
that were in car accidents that didn't have a pulse afterwards. And,
Yep.
as long as you got a pulse, there's a life to live.
That's exactly right.
It's gonna be different. It's gonna be challenging. But I'll tell you what. There's one thing that I've learned in 60 years is that no matter how bad your day is, somebody's having a worse day.
Damn right.
So hopefully your words, your experience pulls them up. And it reminds me how blessed we are that you're here with us. And
Amen.
I'm sure that the deal that you made when you were sitting there in this blown up gun turret was Lord, please just let me sell cigars.
That was like at the very tail end.
The very
tail end of it.
Yeah.
By the way,
which means
back to Megan. But we can make this cigar thing happen.
which makes me a 10.
but the cool thing is after I got out of the military, top 2 retirement dream jobs was either, you know, having my own like cigar shop, working at a cigar shop, or, you know, being one of those guys that roams around Bass Pro that doesn't really do shit. When they ask you, hey, can you help me? Not really. I'm just here for the boats, man. I just, you know, the cool shit. But I'm living my dream job.
Yeah. And you just kill it. So anyone who's been in here that sees how this place operates, it is solely because the effort that Brandon Byers puts in. It is the stuff that happens when you're not looking. At the end of the day, it is unbelievable. Not when you're not looking, because you're always looking.
I'm always looking,
here.
but we have a team that kills it every damn day. Everybody is always reaching for higher. Is always reaching for higher.
And that's what we'll continue to do.
Well, boys, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being
appreciate
here.
it. Brandon, thank you for your story. It's made me remember that freedom isn't free, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well,
Jim Stanko?
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed your.
Oh, whenever you.
Courtney's over there like,
Yeah,
Whataburger closes.
Your Pippin sweat.
we need to have some more Pippin ball sweat at the Formula One outing. That's all I can say.
We have more bottles in the back.
Amen. With
got 5 or 6
cheers.
of them.
Cheers. Thank you.
At the shop, and we'll be back next Tuesday with unsuspecting guests.
Peace.
See you.
Damn.